name is Amanda Galvin. I am the Director of Adult Services in our New Hampshire location. I was working at another agency I started off as a DSP, and then I became a DSP lead, and I worked there for a while. I was interested in moving up to a manager position. They didn't really have that at the agency that I was working at, and so that's how I landed here. My first role here at Aspire, I was a program manager. Like I said, I had been a program manager for, I think that was the longest run that I had was as a program manager. So I did that for about 7 years. And then I had some babies. And coming back after having children, it was just different. It was challenging. I took sort of a sidestep, and I became the office admin when our office was in Merrimack, and I did that for a little while. And then after that, they developed an assistant program director position in New Hampshire, and I moved into that role. And then shortly after the program director position in Merrimack, where I worked, became available, and I moved into that position. I did that one for a while, and then I became the director of program supports, which was a brand new position in New Hampshire. Actually, I think at the agency, it was totally new. We had somebody moving out of a different position that was primarily certification. And so we made that a whole other position, and I moved into that. And I think I did that for 2 years, maybe 3, I lost track of time. And then I just recently moved into the Director of Adult Services position. I oversee the program directors. They oversee program managers who oversee the programs. The most challenging transition that I made, I think, was into the Director of Program Support position. Because it was brand new, it was a little scary. You're merging certification in with all these agency quality initiatives, and I was developing a whole department in New Hampshire, and really sort of bringing New Hampshire into the agency quality standards. And that was challenging. I had to work alongside operations and sort of like teach them everything that we were trying to roll out in the quality department. I also developed positions below me, quality assurance specialists, and I worked with the team to sort of carve out what those positions would do, what their role would be, help the program managers sort of embrace the QAs and get them working together. The advice that I would share with anyone looking to grow is put yourself out there. Get involved with different things that aren't just in your state, involved in agency-wide initiatives or work groups, or whatever your passion is. Ask to do something. The agency is eager for people that are passionate about the work. They're eager for people to join these work groups to help roll out the initiatives that we're working on, and to help create systems so that we can do our work better. And so ask and get involved, and speak up, let your voice be heard. The more that you put yourself out there, the more you'll be embraced, and people will know what you're good at and what your passion is, and you'll find your way, you'll find a place. I think we're in a really cool place where there's a lot of agency support working behind the scenes to impact all of the services that we provide. And it's really positive. There's a lot of people working to figure out, if we're doing things the best way or the smartest way, or if there's different services that we should be offering, or or if we need more resources to offer support or service. There's just a lot going on to make sure that we're providing all these great services in a great way. So I think we're just really lucky to have that right now. You know, we've had a lot of change at the agency and in New Hampshire over the past couple of years. So I really don't want to make a lot of changes right now. What I really want to do is hone in on things. I want to get back to the basics and work with my team and the teams that work below them on drilling down on manager responsibilities and tasks, and just really making sure that we're strengthening our skills as a team in New Hampshire so that we're providing the best services. She came into services shortly after I started. And when she came into services, she had a lot of challenges. She required a huge team to be around her at all times. So that was like probably 14 years ago. And she stayed with us for a long time. And she actually stayed with the same home care provider for a very long time. She ended up passing away a couple of years ago. But by the time that had happened, she had just come so far in her life. Like she had became a part of this family that she had lived with for 10 years probably, and those providers had children, and so those were her babies, and she was a real part of their family. At the end, she was a completely different person. They had worked with her to help her lose a bunch of weight so that she could live a much healthier lifestyle. She was walking and communicating with people, and just had like a different energy to her. And it just really stood out to me because it just highlights, how much of a difference a good home care provider and service team can have on an individual's life. I like to go to the beach, and I like to read. I like to travel when I have time to do that. And I like to go to concerts. I'm really excited. I have a concert coming up next week, and it's an artist that I really love. I've seen him a couple times, and I'm super excited to see him next week.